Joining me now on NASCAR Race Hub, FS1's host of Speak for Yourself, Jason Whitlock, and Regan Smith is here as well. Welcome in, guys. And Jason, first, I just want to get you to react on what Kyle said last night and the news that has come out today.
Well, I think NASCAR and Chip Ganassi have taken the appropriate steps. Clearly, what Kyle Larson has done here is completely unacceptable. It's really unacceptable in the sport of auto racing and NASCAR, given its history and, you know, some of the criticism of NASCAR and concerns about diversity issues. When I think about Bubba Wallace just a week ago losing a sponsor because he quit an e-sport event, there were ramifications just for quitting. And now when I look at what this young man has done, I think it's certainly appropriate for NASCAR to sit him down for a long time. Perfectly appropriate for Chip Ganassi to think about perhaps walking away from him. I think it'll be very difficult for sponsors to wrap their arms around Kyle Larson anytime in the near future. The ramifications have to be serious here. He's done a nice job putting out an apology, but I think it's going to take more than an apology to clear this up.
Well, and I second everything Jason said, Adam. When you look at the word that was used and the things that he said last night, not only is there no place for this in sports, there's no place for this in society. And I think NASCAR and Chip Ganassi Racing, they took stern actions immediately. They did exactly what they felt like they needed to do and what needed to be done. And you know, let's be honest, Kyle Larson's going to have a long road ahead of him. I know he issued the apology, but he is going to have a long road ahead of himself to clear this up and to prove to everybody that this was a one-time incident and that it is not what is in his makeup and what is in his DNA. But definitely agree with all the steps that have been made to this point. And you know, I just wish that this was not something that came up as frequently as it does. This is something that doesn't belong anywhere in our society.
Jason, how does an athlete recover from something like this?
He's going to have to put some work in, some real authentic work and outreach, I think, to the black community and be a part of putting NASCAR in a positive light. But look, when you're talking about a sport that's this reliant on sponsorships, I think it's going to be a really tough road for Kyle Larson. Not an impossible one, but you know, it may be a year or two before a sponsor's even comfortable remotely working with him. So how he recovers, I think he's going to have to do some serious outreach in the black community with black racing fans and be a part of a solution for NASCAR. If he can't, he may have to just find another profession. And I don't say that as like, he's just 27 years old. He's clearly made a mistake. Young people make mistakes, and they should be able to recover. But in the sport that he's in and the reliance on sponsorship to be able to compete at the highest level, he's in the wrong sport for this type of controversy.
You know, NASCAR has taken so many steps in recent years when it comes to their push for diversity. What does the comments from last night made by Kyle Larson do to hurt the progress in that regard, Jason?
Well, obviously it hurts. NASCAR has a reputation, well-earned, but NASCAR also deserves credit for the steps that it has taken and trying to improve its reputation. I'll say this, though. I don't want to put everything on NASCAR, and I know this is NASCAR Race Hub, and that's what we talk about. But some of what we're dealing with here is about esports. If you go look into the problems with esports and gamers and misogyny, racism, abuse of women gamers, look, the behavior that he was demonstrating during this iRacing event is kind of consistent with esports. There's a problem in esports that's perhaps far more pervasive and more problematic than what's gone on in NASCAR. And so I just don't think NASCAR should be singled out here. This behavior is consistent with what has gone on in esports across the board. That's regardless of racing and anything like that, this is a pervasive problem in esports.
I'm relatively new to esports, Adam, and have actually been dabbling in just a little bit of what's going on with the iRacing stuff. And to back up what Jason's saying, I've heard things on there that have surprised me. And as I mentioned, I've never done the online gaming, so to speak, with people I don't know. For whatever reason, it just appears that within esports, there's the ability to say whatever you want and feel like there's no repercussions for it. So I second that there is another culture there that needs to be fixed, that needs to be corrected as well. And certainly Kyle Larson kind of plays a role in that as well now in terms of his background and what he's got to clear up.
Thanks to both of you for sharing your perspective on a difficult subject. We'll see you again soon.
For more great NASCAR on Fox content, subscribe to our channel. It's somewhere right around here.